Hello, Cindy here. In this video, we are gonna be reacting to Jaden Animation's Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke. Let's get today's video.
Within the Pokemon community, there's a set of self-imposed rules you can add to the games to make them more challenging, called a Pokemon nuzlocke. You can only catch the first Pokemon you run into per route. If a Pokemon faints, it dies, and you can't use it anymore. And you have to nickname your Pokemon to get more attached to them. That means if you aren't careful, you can technically lose a Pokemon game.
Keep in mind, you can always add more rules or edit the rules if you think that the game's too tough. They're self-imposed, so you can just do whatever you want with them. So, yeah, just do it to you.
Under those conditions. I've wanted to do a nuzlocke for the longest time. I've started a couple in the past, but never actually got to finish any because busy. But today's the day that all changes. I decided to make a video on my first full attempt at a Pokemon Ruby nuzlocke. Let's see how it went. After breaking free from the back of the moving truck my mom stuffed me in and introducing myself to the neighbor Brendan, the kid that I always thought was a monkey said that he heard screaming up ahead. Professor Birch is getting mauled by a level 2 Poochyena, so I let his Torchic out and she scratches the crap out of it. He gifts me Torchic for rescuing him, and I name her Teriyaki, my first Pokemon.
To be frank, I would have gone for the Mudkip, but that's just a personal preference.
Walking up the route more, I run into Brendan, who challenges me to a battle, where Teriyaki proceeds to also scratch the crap out of his Mudkip. Good job, Teriyaki. You're 2 for 2. Doing great. Professor Birch gives me 5 Pokeballs, and the Nuzlocke has officially started. I walked back up
Shout out to everybody who's drinking coffee at noon.
To catch my first Pokemon and ran into a Zigzagoon. Alright, not the best, but I can work with this. You know, I think we're gonna have a really awesome adventure. Dude! So Teriyaki one-shotted Zigzagoon with a critical...
Okay, let's analyze what's going on here, shall we? Scratch is a pretty powerful move, and levels, defense, and all that other stuff are all factors in whether a Pokemon gets okay, well, O-code, which is one-hit knockout, or just getting, one or, well, 2 or more. What most likely happened was that Ari, why the heck did I say Ari? Teriyaki was able to one-shot it because a Torchic tends to have a pretty high attack power. I believe it's a physical attacker, or maybe it's in between. But either which way, it's pretty powerful for the starters, at least in the early game. So choosing a Torchic as your starter Pokemon was smart. However, you got to be careful with the different moves you use. You can actually, believe it or not, if you have Pokeballs, you can actually catch a level 3 Zigzagoon without actually having to deal damage to it. So if Jaden really wanted this Zigzagoon, which by her reaction she did, she should have just done research in the Pokemon Ball catch rates, because and the different levels that a Pokemon can be caught with relative success. Oh yeah, I fractured my wrist. I doubt any of you guys can get in touch with the I honestly doubt you guys can get in touch with the West Virginia Fairmont traffic or government or whatever. Just, if you can, please tell them to fix their flippin' potholes. I'm not even talking in the roads, I'm talking about the sidewalks. Just fix the sidewalks in general. Some areas are split like a triangle, others are just look like an earthquake hit, and then the sidewalk is like a mini ramp. And then there are multiple areas where a disabled person can't get around because there's no ground to up onto the sidewalk things. Little ramps. Some areas don't have ramps. They're just big old blocks of concrete. Sorry, rant over. Let's get back to the video, shall we?
critical hit scratch, but whatever.
That
Contain your
too.
murder a little bit, alright, guys?
I thought it was a critical hit, but I really... Besides, what I said about a Torchic is fairly true. I just didn't know that it was a... I just didn't know that it was going to be a crit. That's another factor that can be taken into account for one-shotting Pokemon.
Route 102 is right around the corner, and that's where I was able to catch Corn the Seedot. Look at us, couple of friends ready to take
Isn't
on
a
the
Seedot
whole
a grass
together. After watching the
type?
weird Kid Wally struggle
Well,
to catch his first Pokemon, I could...
Grass rock type, I believe. Yes. I'm pretty sure you guys will educate me down in the comments.
Continued on to Route 104 and found a little Talo in the grass. Aggressive and screams and hungry. Oh yeah.
Hey, it's Ari.
In Petalburg Forest, a Team Magma grunt jumps some random professor, so Ari and Teriyaki peck his eyes out. Oh, hello, Shroomish. I'm gonna name you Onion. I make it to Rustboro, and while getting ready to take on
Why that
Roxanne's
voice?
gym, Teriyaki kills another Zigzagoon I was about to catch. What's your problem with Zigzagoons, dude? But it turned out alright, because she also ended up evolving. Onion was able to destroy Roxanne with ease, and we got our first gym badge. Exiting the gym, we catch a glance that Team Magma is up to no good again. Something about the scorching earth or something. And this old
Hey, it's
man
Groudon.
claims that they stole his Pico.
Seagull.
Here's your dog. Also, you're coming with me. The mayor thanks me by turning me into his errand boy, and I arrive in Dewford to give a letter to Stephen. Alright, what do we got? Ugh. Okay, you chomps. After finding Stephen, it was time to take on Brawly, the next gym leader. Ari's a stone-cold killer and easily earned MVP in that fight. Things were going well. 2 badges in, and the team is looking good. On my way to the next city, I caught a tentacle on the beach.
Cool. Water types are pretty good power.
And after beating Team Magma and Brendan again in Slateport, it was time again to get ready for the gym battle with Watson.
Why was Onion biting his butt? What? That's pretty disgusting.
But as I was fighting some trainers, Chomps the Mawile got electrocuted a bit too hard and was killed. Jaden, let's battle. I want to show you how strong I am.
Get wrecked.
Okay. Ari, this is an electric gym. You're not allowed to fight in here, so you can just wait outside. While battling the gym trainers, Onion evolved into Breloom, and together with Teriyaki, they were able to get another victory. Now we were riding high. 3 gym badges in and no main casualties. With our massive confidence...
Whoa. Slow your roll there, Jaden. Let me tell you her fatal error in this case. The error was being confident in the first place, because in a nuzlocke, you have to be cautious about everything. Because, like Jaden said, there is a possibility of you losing a nuzlocke because you don't have any more Pokemon to use. Every time a Pokemon faints, it dies. It's pretty sad, honestly. I lost the Nuzlocke because I got confident and did something that wasn't recommended. And yeah, don't get confident in Nuzlocke, kids. Just don't.
Decided to take on the Windstreet family's challenge of beating all their family members. I had Squidward out front to get him some
Smart
experience,
move.
but we ran into some troubles with Grandma. Oh god, it's gonna do a high jump kick. We can take him out, but I need a clean switch first.
Sorry.
So I had to sacrifice Hushchild the Whismer, but honestly that was the safest move to ensure no one else died. Goodbye, Hushchild. You might be missed. While we were heading to Fall Arbor, fighting some trainers, Ari evolved. Oh, look at my big bird. Oh, look at you. We were almost to town, but we had to get through the sooty grass on 113. Oh, jeez. Alright, Barf, get in there with the rest most of them. I walked into Meteor Falls to see Team Aqua and Team Magma arguing about water and rocks. They kept complaining and I had to go up the volcano they were blocking to fight Maxie, the Team Magma leader. That was a hard fight. Onion and Teriyaki were able to take out his Mightyena and Camerupt, but his Golbat hit hard. I ended up having to switch in Ari and double team up to win the battle. Not the most honorable of strategies, but it worked and we're moving on. On the way down the volcano, I ran into a Machop. Oh, hello there, Chad. What? You're a female?
How the hell did Jaden understand what... How the hell did Jaden understand what the Machop was saying? She just pointed at her. She just pointed at herself and then just, like, you talking to me? That's the only thing I was able to take away from that. The Machop was like, you talking to me?
Did I stutter? We
Rude.
arrived in Lava Ridge Town and started getting through Flannery's gym. During that time, Squidward was almost killed by a Fury swiping Kecleon. Oh my gosh, that does a lot of damage. Stop! But when it came time to battle, he pulled his weight and more. Honestly, with the team, there wasn't much I could have done to Flannery's fire Pokemon, but Squidward came in clutch by learning Bubble Beam, and it was all over for her. Badge 4, under our belt. Brendan met up with us outside the gym to give us goggles so we could walk in the sandstorms. I found a claw fossil, and Anorith was born. I didn't know what to name it, so my friend named him Gary. Now it was time for the 5th gym. After some training, Chad evolved into Machoke, and the team was leveled up. I started the battle with Ari, and after realizing I was in trouble... Yeah, that doesn't do a lot of damage.
Oh, right. Almost forgot. Reason why Jaden says that she was in trouble was because of various factors, like level comparisons, Pokemon EV levels, and different EV numbers. Slacking may not be the fastest Pokemon on the planet, but in all actuality, it is one of, not the most powerful, because there are Pokemon way more powerful than it, but it is one of. It's like I believe it's a pseudo-legendary, which means it's powerful enough to be classified as a legendary and just power, but isn't just a regular Pokemon at the same time. Similar to a Magnezone and a Garchomp. Those two are both, as well as a Metagross. All of those all of those Pokemon are pseudo-legendaries. At least, to my knowledge, Slacking is a pseudo-legendary. Either that or he's just a super buff Pokemon. Funny, considering the fact that Slacking is what I used to nickname my brother back when we were kids. Steven, well, not Steven. I'm just gonna call him S for privacy's sake. S was was not having a very good time with his biological mother. He wasn't the fittest, and his mother didn't really take care of him. She let him eat pizza 24/7, not really good for his health. So he never really, well, until he moved in with us, he didn't really do much. So he was kind of lazy at the time. But thankfully, he's gotten a lot better.
Damage.
Like I said, Slacking may not be very fast, but he can tank a lot of hits and can do a lot of damage.
I managed to squeak by with more double teams.
I feel bad
Ari
for
was
Ari.
barely able to take out the first Slacking, so when the second, stronger one came out, I knew I had to use a different strategy. I brought out Onion to leech seed it and try and get more chip damage in, which worked, but he was also killed by Slacking's Facade, which I thought he could take. Chad was able to finish off the rest of the fight, but that was the first death that actually hurt. I'm not crying. Someone's just chopping onions in here.
Rude.
But with every down, down, there's enough. And Corn stepped up and was ready to fill Onion's spot. While passing through Mauville again, Watson
He's a little leaf ninja.
asked us to help him turn off the city's generator, and while down there I found a Magnemite.
What?
You wanna come with?
Wait, what? Did she seriously get a Magnemite after I mentioned Magnus Zone? Talk about a coincidence, huh?
With? Okay. We kept on our way, catching Spurky the Electrite, and while fighting some trainers, Corn survived 2 very close calls. He took a Swords Dance boosted Fury Cutter by Ninjask, and a misclick from me, which resulted in him tanking a wing attack from a Talo. No, Corn, no! Oh. Dude, Corn, I'm so sorry. You're such a trooper. Good news is Squidward evolved while training, so that's neat. We arrived in Fortree City, and this was a gym I was really nervous about. Not only did we not have a good team to take on a flying-type gym, but Winona's Altaria is notorious for sweeping teams if she sets up too many dragon dances. I went to the grass to train up the team, and the worst happened. Corn was killed by pin missile from a Zigzagoon. Wait, no. Stop! Corn, no! Corn! You monster! How can you do this? Is this why you kept trying to kill all the Zigzagoons?
I know I shouldn't be laughing, but this is actually pretty funny. If you don't understand, Teriyaki was taking out all the Zigzagoons because reasons. She never really explained why, but every time Teriyaki fights a Zigzagoon, that Zigzagoon tends to lose. And I guess this is what Jaden believes her teriyaki was doing. Fun fact: teriyaki is actually a spicy Thai food. I think it is. Or is it a Japanese thing? It's definitely a more foreign food from the United States. Well, I think about it, I want to try some teriyaki someday. Neat.
I want to think that Corn sacrificed himself because he knew we were at too much of a disadvantage going into Winona's gym, and by opening up a space, we could get the type advantage we needed to stand a chance. With a heavy heart...
Is there a rule stating that you can't swap Pokemon whenever you need a type advantage? Because I don't believe that was in the handbook. There is no handbook for a Nuzlocke. There's just 3 rules that are constant. Name your Pokemon. You can only catch the first Pokemon you see on any given route, and if it faints, it dies. Those are the only 3 constant rules. You can add or do whatever you want other than that.
I brought Zip Zap Zop the Magnemite to the team, and realized how much more grinding I was gonna have to do. I had to fight so many Merrills to get Zip Zap Zop on par with the rest of the team. You wanna know how many? The move Thunderbolt can be used 15 times before it runs out, and I had to go back to the Pokemon Center almost 6 separate times to refill it, meaning Zip Zap Zop killed more than 80 Merrill that were...
Let's do a quick calculation. 6 times 15. 15. Huh. 90 Merrill, to be precise. See? 90 Merrill. Very bottom. 15 times 6.
living in that lake. Winona...
By the way, before I continue, be sure to hit that like button down below, smash that subscribe button, and hit that little bell icon down below also to become a part of the Phoenix Squad. Leave a comment down below saying that you subscribed, and I will comment. I will reply to the first comment that I see. And if possible, well, not the first comment, but the first comment. If you're the first to comment, I'm going to shout you out in the next video. As well as give me tips or anything that would make you guys watch my videos more often, because I'm wanting to know more about you guys. So I can make more videos that actually appeal to you guys, so I'm not just doing random videos and trying to find a spot on the YouTube podium so that I can use as a springboard.
Lead was Swellow, which Zip Zap Zop was able to take out. But she immediately brought out Altaria, which made me very scared because I know she's got Earthquake on that thing.
Where the heck does Earthquake come in on that little sheet of paper? It's just a sheet of paper naming all the parts of an Altaria. It doesn't show any moves. It would have made more sense for you to actually show the move list that Pokemon has, so that skeptical people aren't just not, so the skeptics can actually believe you. If I was in her case, I would poorly Photoshop a move list onto a clipboard, so that they see the move list. I'll take a picture or something of it, and then just slap it onto a keyboard in my animation. I'm just saying.
I didn't have a clean switch, and I knew no one on the team could take 2 hits from this Cloudbird, so I ultimately decided that I'd have to have Zip Zap Zop paralyze it in exchange for his death. Goodbye, Zip Zap Zop. You weren't here for long, but your efforts will not be in vain.
Oh lordy!
Oh my god! Somehow...
Yeah, I don't know how. I legit do not know how that... I have absolutely no idea why that Magneton actually survived. He's weaker. He has a less... His level is less than the Altaria. He was getting affected by a super effective move. Was it because the Meryl that he was fighting gave him a power or a special attack or some sort of defense EV boost? Because I know certain Pokemon can give you certain types of EVs or effort value. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, you have a Slowpoke or something, and you want to get his speed up without having to use any sort of performance enhancing drugs or anything. You just have to fight him against a bunch of Ponyta, because Ponyta gives you a speed EV, so that get enough of those EVs and he'll be fast as a jet plane eventually. Not exactly, that was a joke, but it'll make a slow, fat, sloth-like creature, on average, to about as fast as a wolf going to full sprint.
How Zip Zap Zop lived the Earthquake on 2 HP like a mad lad.
I respect you, Zip Zap Zop.
Corn must have been looking down on us for that one, because there was definitely a 90% chance Zip Zap Zop was supposed to die there. With that string of luck, I was able to switch Arian for Zip Zap Zop to predict another Earthquake, and started...
I'm gonna do a bit of research. Pokemon Ruby Meryl. Pokemon Meryl.
Here's some information about Meryl. Meryl is a water fairy-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 2. Prior to Generation V, it was a pure water Pokemon.
Huh. So that's why he was able to live. Sorry about that, I was doing some research to see what a Meryl would give if you're training against a Meryl. In a hypothetical scenario where you only fought Meryls with a single Pokemon, you would be getting 2 HP EVs per fight. So the actual reason why Magneton actually, survived was because he had a bunch of EVs, health EVs, that Jaden didn't even know what was happening. Like I said, do some research and you'll figure out certain things.
Chipping away at the Altaria, which was not gonna be easy. She was already starting to stack up those dragon dances, which make her moves even more powerful, and I was legitimately sweating. But with what little luck we had left, Winona got greedy and tried to get in that last dragon dance, and that's when Ari was able to swoop in and snipe that kill. If that Altaria would have decided to attack at any point, she would have one-shotted anyone and everyone on my team. Thank you, Corn. You shined your photosynthesis onto us. From there, I was able to heal up Zip Zap Zop and sweep the rest of her team. The 6th gym badge was ours. Outside the Safari Zone, I found a Duskull I was able to catch. I tried to have Gary on the team since resurrecting him from the dirt, but he honestly has, no moves that do damage, so I decided...
What moves? Anorith, Pokemon Ruby. He's a rock bug type. Breeding stats. I believe. I'm looking up his move list right now. One moment. Wow. Well then, she messed up big time. You know why? Her different Pokemon are in the 30, or 30, 35, somewhere around there. And... Sorry, that was my phone. And Anorith actually evolves at level 40. And around 30 slash... Yeah, she definitely messed up. She definitely messed up because just because the Pokemon doesn't have moves right out of the right out of the gate, it doesn't mean it's not gonna get any. Just a quick bit of data researching, and with different levels, an Anorith can get Water Gun, Smackdown, Metal Claw, Ancient Power, Bug Bite, Grind, Slash, Rock Blast, Protect, X Scissor, and so on and so forth. Every single one of those that I mentioned are attacking-based moves. Just a little bit of training. You don't even have to have them out for the full battle, just switch train it. If you don't know what switch training is, it's where you have, let's say, I have a Pikachu that is like level 20, and I got a new Pokemon from an egg, and egg Pokemon does start out at like level 1 or something. You would, it's hypothetical. Some details may not be accurate, but let's say I have a Pikachu and I get a Eevee from an egg. Not the effort value, like Eevee, the multi-evolutionary Pokemon that can go into a Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon, for example. I need to level. I need to level him up. The Eevee in this scenario is a male, so in order to train up my Eevee without it fainting, because let's say I'm going for a Sylveon, which requires a high friendship, and Pokemon faints, you lose a friendship point. So in order to prevent that from happening, I switch train my Eevees so that I can so I can level them up in an area where Pokemon are like level 20 and above. Okay? So I first start out with Eevee, and before any moves can be placed onto the field, in a metaphorical sense, say I'm going up against I don't know, a Graveler. Okay? I can switch between my Eevee, which would normally get one shot by a level 20 some Graveler. Then again, some details about the levels and all that may not be accurate. It's hypothetical. I would switch to Eevee out for a Pikachu. For my Pikachu, which is the highest level, with level 35. And now that the Eevee has actually been in the battle, after defeating that Graveler, it will receive experience points, which will level it up. And then once it gets on par with the rest of the wild Pokemon, you don't have to switch train them anymore. But you can if you want to be safe. Jaden Animations really should have did some switch training, because getting that Pokemon to love, getting the Anorith to its next evolution, which is far more powerful than the base Pokemon, than a regular Anorith. I forget the name, but the next evolution is pretty powerful. But then again, she is making a pretty good decision by getting a Dusclops later down the line. So, that helps, I guess.
Decided to replace him with Sin. We arrived in Lily Cove and I tried fishing on the beach for a Pokemon, but Chet punched the Whalmer I reeled up too hard and killed it. We stormed Team Magma's base, and while trying to get the Master Ball they've got on the ground, an Electrode exploded and almost killed Chad.
Poor
which
Chad.
was uncalled for. After beating their admin, they escaped into a submarine, and I went on to fight the next
Grand
one.
Theft
Tim
Submarine.
Were the first double battle gym leaders, and I didn't realize until too late that I
Wait.
was just a tad under leveled.
Wait, double battles were a thing during like Gen 3, I believe the Pokemon Ruby games came out in. I know Red and Blue came out, or the first generation, and Platinum and Silver were the second, so roughly. I tend to get certain games of certain generations mixed up, even though I'm a bit of a Pokemon fan. Anywho, let's get back to the video.
For them. They don't have any more than 2 Pokemon, so
Never
I
underestimate
think
your
should
opponent.
Be okay.
Never underestimate your opponent. If anything, you should overestimate your opponent. Because if you overestimate your opponent, you'll be sure to be able to know that you can defeat it. But then again, you can't be confident at the same time, so it's a balancing act. Anywho, I'm gonna cut the recording here. Or just... No, I'm just gonna leave the video recording. Say hi to my dogs or something if you want. I am heading to the bathroom. Now, I'm back. Dang. Forgot to close the door. Ah, slag. My glasses. Oh, yeah, right. James going against these two.
42? Uh-oh.
I
Sin
agree.
and Zip Zap made a good duo, being able to confuse and paralyze them, but Solrock managed to get off a Sunny Day powered flamethrower in Zip Zap Zop's face, which totally killed him. That really sucked. He put in so much work for the team and really carried us this far. The rest of this fight's for you, Zip Zap Zop.
He looks like one of those Undertale amalgams. Just this being made of melted magic with a little bit of physical matter mixed in there. Just a big old blob that looks like a creature. Looks like a looks like a single creature. But is multiple creatures stuck together. That's essentially what a magneton is. It's 3 magnemites magnetized together.
Squidward came out, and together with Sin, were
Cursed
able to
water!
finish off the duo, getting us our 7th gym badge.
To be frank, she really should have just gone with Squidward and Sin to begin with. Because they both have rock types, so what the heck was an electric type supposed to do?
Alright, Spurky, you're up. I think I
That's funny. I wasn't lying when I said she was in the 30s.
single-handedly wiped out the entire water Pokemon population between Zip Zap Zop and Spurky. I went to Shoal Cave
Electrite.
and caught Blubby the Spheal, and went out to take on Maxie one last time. For some reason, I didn't learn my lesson when being underleveled for Tate and Liza, because I was even more underleveled for Maxie. It doesn't go down? This fight was rough. Chad was able to take out his Mightyena, but I resorted to Squidward when his Crobat came out, and luck wasn't on my side here, because Squidward was killed by a high roll wing attack. The way Pokemon works is there's a small range of damage an attack can do. It's not actually the same all the time, and it's kind of based on chance. So even though it looked like Squidward could have lived 2 wing attacks, Maxie was able to get a low roll on the first one, and a high roll on the second, which was the death of Squidward. But it wasn't time to give up.
Poor
We had
Squidward.
to persevere.
At least
For
SpongeBob can
Squidward,
live in
Ari
peace.
came in and took out the Crobat and lived on 1 HP when hit by Camerap's rock slide. It was a tough battle, but we squeaked by. Barely. After that fight, I needed to take a step back and seriously grind up the team again. If we were just a bit more underleveled, we would have been murdered. Blubby joined the team.
Remember how I mentioned that I played a Pokemon MMO? I was wanting to play Pokemon so bad that I was thinking that I was starting to become extremely frustrated with it. And to put it bluntly, I was gonna go mad if I didn't play Pokemon in some sense, because I had wanted to play Pokemon, the newest Pokemon, ever since it came out. I still want to play it, but I haven't had the cash or anything to be able to buy the game. Which is so frustrating, you know? Especially when I have a job, which means I could have the money, but most of the money is going into savings so I can pay off my laptop. I have to pay it off before October, otherwise I'm going to be overpaying for the thing. Not fun.
And we got to work, eventually arriving in Sutopolis. Steven and the Sutopolis gym leader, Wallace, were there saying Groudon was in the cave because someone used the wrong orb and pissed him off. So I went in there, walked up to Groudon, and Master Balled him immediately. There's no way I'm fighting Groudon.
Smart move.
Get in the box. Well,
How the hell is something like that gonna fit? Oh, God. Not gonna lie, that is a pretty dope looking thumbnail if I ever did see one. Yeah.
fighting Wallace, Spurky was able to take out his love disc in Celio. Sin beat his Whiscash, and Chad finished off the Milo.
Another powerful
The
Pokemon.
team was perfect. and after obtaining our final gym badge, I knew we were ready for the Elite Four. We got through Victory Road. Wally tried to fight us for the last time, but he just needs to stop. We exited the cave, and there it was. The final challenge. Here we go. Sydney was up first, and honestly, he wasn't a challenge at all. Chad and Teriyaki were
Typically.
able to take care of his
Sydney is often one of the least dangerous ones of the Elite Four, at least in Generation 3.
team with ease. Phoebe wasn't difficult either, with Sin and Blubby being MVPs. Glacio was a bit tougher. Teriyaki was able to take out her Glalies, and Spurky could handle her Celios, but her Walrein was the big problem. Walreins are thick, can tank a lot of hits, and can do a lot of damage. I would know, because I have one. I brought out Chad, and she was able to get in a good amount of damage, but she was ultimately killed by Blizzard. Sin came out to try and confuse...
To be frank, she really should have did what she could to evolve evolve Chad into her final form, because a Machop, well, not Machop, but a Machamp would have been able to hold its own against that guy, the big guy, a Celia, or Walrein. Sorry, Walrein. A Walrein and a Machamp are pretty even. One maybe can take a lot of hits and do a lot of damage, while the other is super fast and can do a lot of damage. So, since Walreins aren't really the fastest, it's a similar situation to Slacking. They're not the fastest, but they're powerful as heck when it comes to offense and defense. Evasion, on the other hand, isn't their strong suit. By the way, if you ever see me rocking back and forth in my chair, it's because my chair does that, and I don't know why. I don't know why I do it. It's just fun.
Use it, but it broke through the confusion and landed a Sheer Cold.
Oh,
Sheer Cold is a one-hit KO
holy
move.
shit.
It has a 30...
Yeah, you do not want to be on the other end of a Sheer Cold. It's an insta-KO move, as Jaden just said.
percent chance of hitting the target, and will fail if the target Pokemon's level is higher than the user's. But even under all those conditions, it hit, and Sin was killed.
Poor Sin.
Two great team members, down and out. Chad was with us for so long and pulled so much weight, and Sin got us through some really tough battles. Even with those losses, we were able to finish Glacia off and move on to the final Elite Four member, Drake. Drake's got a tough team, but we've got a Blubby, and
that is legitimately funny. It's a similar saying from the Avengers movie. You may have an army, but we have a Hulk.
and she wanted revenge for her fallen comrades. She ice beamed every single one of Drake's Pokemon.
She just went Super Saiyan Blue. Dragon Ball Z reference.
Just a straight up massacre. And with that, it was on to the last battle. Steven Stone. I was legitimately nervous. I led with Spurky to take out his Skarmory as quick as possible, and Blubby was able to take out his Greydol and Aggron.
If I saw that, I would be screaming out of my wits too. An ally turned into a Pokemon popsicle with a giant tsunami coming towards me, with me not being able to swim. I'm putting myself in the mindset of the Pokemon that's Aggron. Aggrons are ground types, which means water type moves are going to be super effective, as well as fire type because it's a ground steel. At least I think that's how it works.
But then came his Metagross. This might be the end. Metagross is Steven's strongest Pokemon, so I needed to hinder it as much as I could before it started doing serious damage.
Who in their right mind gave Steven Stone a pseudo-legendary as his top Pokemon? Because that's literally a Metagross. That thing is a pseudo-legendary on top, as well as being on par with a Garchomp.
I knew his Metagross had Earthquake, which would definitely take out most of my team, so I had to have Spurky Kamikaze to get a paralysis off. Blubby came out again, and after a lot of hard work, finally beat the Metagross by spamming Surf. Teriyaki was able to finish his Cradily, and his final Pokemon was Armaldo. Gary's final...
Not gonna lie, that looks pretty cool. It's also pretty comical because it wasn't an intentional decision to have this happen, but it's pretty funny nonetheless because Gary Anorith was kicked off the team because he was weak, and now Anorith, aka Gary, is gonna be able to do a ton of damage and take out a few of her teammates if my brain works, that is.
Revenge for getting booted from the team. I brought out Blubby because Teriyaki was pretty weakened, and after realizing she gets two-shotted by him, I knew she was gonna have to die. So with a heavy heart, Blubby pulled off her last Surf, getting Armaldo in the red, and was killed. Teriyaki, the Pokemon who's been with us from the start, who's seen her friends die in front of her, the OG, refused to let any more murder happen. Onion, Corn, Zip Zap Zop, Squidward, Chad, Sin, Spurky, Blubby. Their zeros and ones won't go down in vain. One
Anime Fights 2022.
And we did it. We completed...
That's funny. Anime Fights 2022. That's all for today's video, everybody. Be sure to hit that like button down below, smash the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below saying, giving me tips of some stuff you want me to do so that I can produce more videos that you guys like. That's all for today's video, everybody. Remember, have fun out there, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!